Hey guys, it's Void here, and today I'll be showcasing a hunter build which I like to call the Frenzied Trapper. This build mainly revolves around the armor, but when it comes to guns I would recommend a gun with Demolitionist, just because it helps the whole grenade and melee chain, which we'll get to in a minute. I would recommend having some sort of damage apart from your Demolitionist, so you have 1-2 punch shotgun, grenade launcher. Really, you can use anything you want. You can use Xenophage if you want, you can use a sword. It doesn't really matter. Because also for the super, because we want to use top tree, it can work with bottom tree, but I just recommend top tree because it's a lot easier to get kills with a knife. But as you can tell, 6-shooter isn't really good for damage, it's just good for ad clear. Again, we're going to be using the trip mine because we're utilising Kara's spine, and we also want to use Gambler's dodge because we will be relying on our melee as well. Again, get into that in a second. In terms of stat distribution, you mostly just want mobility for your dodge, because of course rolling next to someone, we're using Gambler's dodge. Rolling next to someone gives you your melee ability back. Again, we'll fuel into the grenade. We'll get into that in a second. You can also go high discipline, high strength if you want to, but it's not really necessary. You won't really notice the difference because of how fast you're getting your grenade. In terms of mods, I'll get into Charge of Light after we just go over all the general mods on the armor. For the helmet, you just put any finder you want. It doesn't really matter, there's no real necessary mod on the helmet you'd want. The general armor mod, again, boost any stat you want, not really necessary to focus on something. Again, mobility might be good. Don't go above 100, obviously. But the helmet, it's not a necessary component, so just feel free to do with it as you will. Now to one of the main parts of the build, Young Kara's spine. The main part of the exotic perk we're looking for is the ability energy you gain back from the trip mine when you hit someone with it. You don't have to kill, you just have to hit them. And this energy does scale with the more energy enemies you hit. So if you hit more than one, you'll get more grenade energy back, but if you just hit one, you'll get like a third back. Again, general armor mod slot, just do whatever, it's your choice. In the normal slots, I'd recommend impact induction, and this is where I was talking about with the melee and the dodge. Your melee, on top of the about a third of the energy you get back from hitting someone with the trip mine, you throw your melee, as long as you hit something, it can either be directly or with the explosion from the proximity knife, you get about half your knife energy back. So you're already very close to your grenade. And of course if you miss, just roll, throw another knife. Simple. Now you can swap one out for a champion mod. Again, completely up to you. Would I completely recommend this in a high level activity? I wouldn't say it's bad, I'd just say the super, not great. Obviously 6-shooter's not fantastic in high end, it's not very good for killing high health enemies. But the build's fun, it does work. You can also use thermal overload if you want with the grenade. That works too, and then you can use Surge Eater. Stacks pretty well. For the chest piece, again, anything. If you want to put powerful friends on to boost your mobility, this would be a good place. Again, boost any stat. The only reason why I have these two mods on, I don't even need this because I have another arc mod on, which just activates this. This is just here because I have no room for anything else. You just with the chest piece, just do whatever. Really, it's literally whatever you want on the chest piece. Boots, of course, scavengers, always useful. Again, general mod, whichever you want. Get into Charge of Light at the end. The other important part of this build, the class item. I'd recommend doing the general mod last to just make sure you have room for the bombers. Again, you could use Thermal Overload and Surge Eater. Only really do that if you're going up against champions. I wouldn't recommend this in like Master or Grandmaster, just because again, the super isn't really built for that. But again, if you want, you can do it. What I like to do is run Bomber. reduces grenade cooldown. So like I was saying, you throw your grenade hits someone. Deals damage, you get a third of the energy back, or more. You throw your knife, you get even more energy back. Essentially, the point of just dodging, A, it gives you your knife back, which if you still don't have your grenade and you really want it, you can just throw it again. I mean, your dodge with 100 mobility is on an 11-second cooldown. You have it back in a pinch. But the purpose of Bomber is to just top off the grenade, as well as give your melee back. So you can just basically do the cycle again. Now we move on to the Charge of Light mods. I'll start from the beginning. So you can use Taking Charge, obviously, to become Charge of Light. You could also substitute that out for the Void one. It's like Charge Harvester. Yeah. It will reduce your mobility by 10, but if you can sacrifice that, then feel free. It's a lot more consistent. Especially if you don't have a masterworked weapon to get orbs from. Gauntlet, no room. Powerful Friends, we're not really using it for its Charged with Light capability. We're mostly just using it because it gives us plus 20 mobility, but it's always nice to give your friend Charged with Light, you know, it's no harm. Boots, Reactive Pulse, just nice if anything comes too close to you. I know you're trying to melee people, I say melee, throwing a knife. It can be annoying sometimes. You don't have to use these Charge of Light mods, I should reiterate that. Powerful Friends, always beneficial. Anything else is just kind of like on the side. It's always nice to have an overshield while performing a finisher, and if someone dares to hit you and you don't want them to, they'll just burst into a ball of lightning. And then this mod, which I haven't really tested, just heals you when you get a kill of a grenade. Doesn't seem too bad, had some spare space. Again, with these Charge with Light mods, just feel free to do whatever. Doesn't really matter. They're not required, again. The main requirements are just grenade, knife, dodge, repeat, essentially. Again, Demolitionist helps. And now I will hand you over to some gameplay I've recorded of me using the build. Feel free to use it, obviously, you know, that's why I'm making the video. If you enjoy it, leave a thumbs up, appreciate it, and have fun.
We're here, stranger.
We're not strangers anymore, little light. You can call me Elsie. Or Elizabeth. Whatever works.
Okay, Elizabeth it is. But I prefer Ghost. So, what's our plan?
Despite our best efforts, the Vex gate within remains active thanks to Aramis. Destroying it loses us a vital link to the Vex. A story for another time, perhaps. For now, we need to focus on stopping any further incursions from the portal.
Understood. We'll take care of it. Here we are again, cleaning up another of Clovis Bray's messes.
Be sure to remind him of that next time you see the bastard. He's the reason all this is here in the first place. The darkness told him to build the portal. It's his fault the Vex invaded. His fault so many people died. I did everything I could to help. It still wasn't enough.
There's no use in quantifying the help you give. Any amount is enough. You've been far more than most.
And it's only just begun, little light.
remind us when they do.
I do indeed. Thanks again.